the topic, transportation. Transportation simply means the movement of people, goods, and services from one place to another. Transportation could be done by land, could be done by air, could be done by water. These are the types of transportation. Transportation by land, by air, and by water. Let's start with transportation by land. Transportation by land is subdivided into human porterage, animal porterage, and road transport. Let's look at these things one after the other. Let's start with human porterage. Human porterage is the carriage of goods by man at the same time as he transports himself by walking. Sometimes you see people carrying goods on their head. That's an example of human porterage. The images on the screen too is an example of human porterage. You are moving the goods alongside with yourself. That's human porterage. The next one is animal porterage. Animal porterage is the use of certain animals like horse, donkey, camel to move people and goods from one place to another, just like what you have on the screen. Road transport. Road transport simply means transportation of goods and personnel from one place to the other on roads, just like what we have on the screen. Types of roads in Nigeria. In Nigeria, we have two types of roads. Trunk A roads. Trunk A roads are roads constructed and maintained by the federal government. They are dual carriage they are called dual carriage or express roads. They link federal and state capitals. Example of trunk A roads in Nigeria include Enugu-Port Harcourt Express Road, Lagos-Ibadan Express Road, Abuja-Kaduna Express Road. These are examples of road transport, examples of trunk A roads in Nigeria. And these roads are constructed and maintained by the federal government. Then the next type of road in Nigeria is the trunk B road. Trunk B road are roads constructed and maintained by the state government. They link different areas inside the state. They link different areas within the state. For example, in Abia State, they link local governments to local governments. That's trunk B roads. They are constructed and maintained by the state government. Let me use some of the trunk B roads in Abia State. Let me give examples of some of the trunk B roads in Abia State, because that is my area, my state of residence. The trunk B roads in Abia State include the Abu-Owerri road. That's the trunk B road. We also have the Osusu road. These are examples of trunk B road. We also have the Obohill, the Waterside road. That's trunk B road. Nuba road. These are examples of trunk B road. And these roads are constructed and maintained by the state government. Let's look at the importance of road transport. Some of the importance of road transport is flexibility. Flexibility in the sense that transportation by road can be easily accessed by anybody. Anybody can easily access road transport. That's flexibility. Flexible in the sense that anybody can easily access it. It's accessible, easily accessible. There is door-to-door service. You can easily transport your stuff or your goods and service from your door to the next person, to the other person's door. So it is simply accessible. There is door-to-door service. Another importance is low cost of maintenance of the road. When you compare the cost of maintenance of road transport by air or sea transport, it is low. So there is low cost of maintenance and construction of road transport. Disadvantages of road transport. Some of the disadvantages of road transport will be looking at under this topic include limited carriage. There is a limit to the volume of goods and services that road can carry. can carry and fly on the road at a particular time. So there's limited carriage. Another disadvantage is that the problem of traffic congestion, because everybody can access the road at the same time. Most times, some vehicles or movement in the road gets jam-packed. That's traffic congestion. Everybody is on the road at the same time. So, and most times some people don't even obey rules of transportation by road. They don't obey traffic rules. There's the problem of traffic congestion, slow movement of vehicles and people on the road. Another disadvantage is that of indiscriminate charges of rules, because the rules that fly the road at the particular time are no way. The way bills, the charges paid paid on way bill or dual carriage it does not equal the amount of goods that is being transported by the road. So the charges are indiscriminately done. Another disadvantage is that of problem of road accidents, because everybody has access to the road, everybody can fly the road at the same time. Most people don't obey traffic rules, and this can lead to road accidents. These are some of the disadvantages of road accidents that we will be treating under this topic. Let's look at rail transport. Rail transport is another form of transportation by road. Rail transport is also known as train transport. It's a means of transport on vehicles which run on tracks, the railway track. It is the cheapest and slowest, although these days we have trains that are very fast. We have fast moving trains of transportation. It's the cheapest and slowest means of transportation on land. It conveys bulky goods over long distance compared to vehicles. That is another form of road transport. Now let's look at the economic importance of the Nigeria railway line. Economic importance of Nigeria railway line. Over time, rail transport became the backbone of the country's import and export economy, because general transportation by road conveys bulky goods and it is cheap. The country used that as an advantage to transport its goods that is important to the country and the goods that is exported out of the country, thereby helping it growth economically. Another economic importance of rail transport is that railway routes were laid before the modern roads. In 1916, a line was constructed between Port Harcourt and Enugu in eastern Nigeria to assist in the transportation of coal to other parts of the country. See, the railway tracks were laid before most of the modern roads. Some of the roads they are seeing today, they are not here as of 1960. They were even before 1960. So rail transport has been there before the modern roads we are seeing today. It has assisted with transporting goods like coal, even granules in the northern part of the country, and other goods in other parts of the country. Another economic importance of rail transport is that up to the 1940s, the railway played a central role in passenger and freight traffic in Nigeria. So up to 1940, before people started transporting by air, rail transport has been there. It has played a central role in transporting passengers and their goods. In terms of revenue generation, the annual receipts of the railway shows a steady increase. It has been there from the ancient times to the modern times, and the generation of revenue has continued to increase. It is steady, has not declined. That's another economic importance of railway lines in Nigeria. The railway equally dramatically stimulated export production, especially where it traversed areas far away from the waterways. In the northern province, for instance, cannot exploded from mere triples to a flood, because transportation by rail is cheap. The farmers or the government use that as an advantage to grow its economy. It uses that as an advantage to grow its economy, and it encourages them, it also encourages the farmers. Because when you get your goods as services, the amount of money you are paying to transport your goods from your hand to the hand of the consumer is cheap. It encourages them, it stimulated the production of these goods and services. Let us look at the assessment session. On the assessment session today, question number 1 says, what is transportation? The next question in the assessment session is, what is animal fur trade? Drop your answer in the comment section. Air transport. Remember in our previous demo on geography, we've been talking about transportation, and we've talked about transportation by land and transportation by water. So today we'll be looking at transportation by air. Air transport is that which is done by air. It allows the movement of people, goods and mail. Aircraft is the fastest means of transportation. It is also the most expensive means of transportation. It involves the use of aeroplanes, helicopters, jets and rockets for travel from one place to another by air. Types of airports. We have 2 types of airports, the international and domestic airports. We'll be taking them one after the other. International airports. International airports are airports where flights that go outside the country can take off or land. International airports include customs and international terminals. Passengers can fly abroad through direct or connected flights. In Nigeria, some of the international airports we have include Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, Aminu Kano International Airport, Kano, Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, Port Harcourt International Airport, Port Harcourt. Let's look at domestic airports. Domestic airports do not have customs and immigration facilities, and so cannot handle flights or form a freight airport or form a foreign airport. Here, planes fly within the country. Some domestic airports we have in Nigeria include Benin City Airport, Ibadan Airport, Ikeja Airport, Enugu Airport, Owerri Airport, Maiduguri Airport, Calabar Airport, etc. Let us look at the map of the airports in Nigeria. This is the map of Nigeria, and the countries at the border include Niger, Chad, and the rest. Now we're looking at the airports in Nigeria. There's an airport in Sokoto, there's an airport in Katsina, in Kano, in Abuja, in Jos, in Maiduguri, in Zaria, in Katsina, in Makurdi. There's an airport in Yola, there's an airport in Enugu, there's an airport in Port Harcourt, there's an airport in Warri, there's an airport in Benin City, there's one in Ibadan, there's one in Lagos, there's one in Ogbomosho, there's one in Ilorin. So these are some of the cities where we have airports in Nigeria. Let's look at advantages of airports. Transportation by air is the quickest transport mode, and it is therefore ideal for long distance transport of goods. It takes less time. Fast service. Air transportation offers convenient, reliable, and fast services of transport. Natural route. An aircraft can fly to any location without seeing any natural obstacle or barriers. This is because the route was not created by anyone. The aircraft routes are there naturally, so the aircraft can fly without meeting a natural obstacle or barrier. Another advantage is that it is secure. There is high standard of protection with low risk of robbery and injury. Transportation by air has a high degree of security since airport safety restrictions on cargo are strictly enforced. Let's look at the disadvantages of air transport. Risk. It is risky. Air travel is the riskiest mode of transportation, since there can be considerable losses to goods, customers and crew as a result of minor crash compared to other means of travel. High cost. Air travel is the most expensive means of transportation. Some product limitation. There's a whole variety of materials not suitable for air travel, from explosives, gases, batteries, fire solids and liquids, which cannot be shipped by air. These are water transportation. Transportation by water is described as the movement of people and freight by boats, ship, barge, or sailboats across ocean, sea, lake, canal or river, or through other modes of water transportation. It is a vital method of transportation. Water transportation or maritime transportation, or more generally waterborne transport, the transport of people or goods via waterways, and it can be subdivided into ocean navigation and inland navigation. Let's look at these terms one by one. Ocean navigation is transportation by water between country to country and between regions in the country using the oceans, especially along the coastal lines. While inland water navigation is a transport system allowing ships and barges to use inland waterways such as canals, rivers and lakes. Inland navigation is within the country, while ocean navigation is from country to country. Let us look at the advantages of water transport. The economical advantage. It is the least expensive method of transit for transporting products between locations. It has a minimal operating cost, making it the cheapest mode of travel across large distances. Large storage capacity. Let's look at the advantage under large storage capacity. Ships are the modes of transport that have a higher capacity for transporting a larger amount of goods. Ships carry goods that aeroplanes cannot even carry. They carry goods that vehicles cannot carry. So they have large storage capacity for transporting goods from a distance to another distance. Safe mode of transport. Weather delays the departure or arrival of an aeroplane on a larger number of times, while ships can operate more readily in more complex or unpredictable situations due to their durability, resistance and dependability. When the weather is bad, aeroplanes cannot fly, but when the weather is bad, ships can manage to move because they are more durable and they are more resistant to weather problems. Another advantage is that of increased product diversity and transportable materials. Water transport is considered one of the most notable features. You can observe how, in contrast to air transport, the ability of transport, the water transport has the ability to transport all types of materials. It is the only option when it comes to oil, liquids and dangerous items that aeroplanes cannot transport. If land transport is capable of loading such items, it cannot convey them through intercontinental transport. Water transport allows the movement of liquids like oil and dangerous items like flammable items, which air transport cannot permit. Even if you decide to convey these goods or these products using vehicles. Vehicles cannot travel across borders, cannot travel through intercontinental transport. So that's another advantage of water transport over land and air transport. Let's go back to the disadvantages of water transport. It is time consuming. Traveling or transporting things takes a lengthy time, thus making it unsuitable for situations when speed is critical. Another disadvantage is port accessibility. In certain areas, ports are unsuitable for receiving cargo ships, posing logistical difficulties during disembarkation. All ships require ports and infrastructure that are appropriate for their requirements and size. Yet, in certain nations, this type of facilities do not exist, thus resulting to delays delivery. Another disadvantage is that of not being appropriate for perishable goods. Water transport is inefficient for delivering perishable products due to the length of time required to reach the destination. For example, if you decide to transport fresh tomatoes from another country to another country, before the ship conveying that product gets to the next country, gets to the destination, those goods or those products must have spoiled. So water transport is not appropriate for transporting perishable goods due to this time-consuming nature. This is where we're going discussing today on this topic. Let's go back to the assessment section. What is water transport? State the types of water transport. Drop your answer at the assessment section. That will be all for today. Thank you for watching and join us on our next one.